They're running on good new ideas, like Medicare-For-All.
2020 candidate Joe Biden has unleashed his healthcare plan with this video.
It was great being part of the first Democratic debate in Miami. The question was asked whether we support eliminating private health insurance. Some said yes, I said absolutely not. I believe we have to protect and build on Obamacare. That's why I proposed adding a public option to Obamacare as the best way to lower costs and cover everyone. I understand the appeal of Medicare-For-All, but folks supporting it should be clear that it means getting rid of Obamacare. And I'm not for that. I was very proud the day I stood there with Barack Obama and he signed that legislation. Never before had anyone ever been able to do that in the White House. 20 million Americans gained coverage. Over 100 million with pre-existing conditions finally got protection. And most importantly, peace of mind. You know, I know how hard it is to get that passed. I watched it. Starting over makes no sense to me at all. I knew the Republicans would do everything in their power to repeal Obamacare. They still are. But I'm surprised that so many Democrats are running on getting rid of it. The Affordable Care Act was a historic achievement for President Obama. And if I'm elected president, I'm going to do everything in my power to protect it and build on it.
All right. Joe Biden is so full of crap. But before I even break down his healthcare plan, since he attached himself so much to Barack Obama, let me play a video of what Barack Obama said about Medicare-For-All just a year ago.
So Democrats aren't just running on good old ideas like a higher minimum wage. They're running on good new ideas like Medicare-For-All, giving workers seats on corporate boards, reversing the most egregious corporate tax cuts to make sure college students graduate debt-free.
So, according to Barack Obama, Medicare-For-All is a good new idea from Democrats. Ask yourself, if you support Joe Biden, why hasn't Barack Obama endorsed Biden? I mean, if Biden is the perfect candidate, if he's the one to go up against Donald Trump, if he's the one that should win here, why hasn't Obama endorsed him? Joe Biden, in my mind, would be the worst candidate to go up against Donald Trump because Joe Biden is essentially Hillary Clinton 2.0. Joe Biden will suppress the vote. He will not excite the base. The non-voter will not come out and vote for Joe Biden. So if you're worried about who can beat Donald Trump, Joe Biden's your worst choice. He's not going to excite anybody. He's not going to excite the base. Understand, that's why Hillary Clinton lost. She did not excite the base. Joe Biden, exact same thing. But let's get into the healthcare here, because he's just, the amount of misinformation that I got to deal with. I mean, as a Canadian, someone who has universal healthcare, anytime I see somebody, especially somebody of prominence like Joe Biden out there just outright lying about universal healthcare, it bothers me. It bothers me a lot, and I have to calm my nerves down and just get to the facts here. So Biden here says you'd be getting rid of Obamacare with Medicare-For-All. Okay, the aim of Medicare-For-All, of Obamacare eventually, was to try and somehow get universal coverage. Here's the issue, though. Obamacare is a private insurance-based system. So the only way to get to actual universal coverage is by replacing it with universal health care. I mean, you see Obama there himself endorse Medicare-For-All. So the idea that, if Obama isn't scared of Medicare-For-All, then why should Joe Biden be? You have to assume Biden has some connections here to private insurance companies. Maybe it's one of his many donors, one of his many big donors. But again, you have to get rid of Obamacare to cover everyone because Obamacare is a private insurance-based system. Now, what happens when you get rid of Obamacare? No, there's not going to be a gap where you don't have healthcare coverage for months or years. You will have immediate coverage. Medicare-For-All covers everyone. It is a universal plan. So you get better insurance through Medicare-For-All, no out-of-pocket expenses, free at the point of use, and you pay less through your taxes than you would to a private insurance company. And also, there are so many benefits. One of the main benefits, in my mind, is the freedom from employer-based insurance. So if you have healthcare through your employer, but you don't like your job, or you want to change careers, or you want to start a business, well, you have to lose that healthcare coverage. Under Medicare-For-All system, that worry isn't there. And on top of that, if you want to start a business, you no longer have to worry about getting your employees covered with healthcare, because they'll have healthcare through a universal system, through Medicare-For-All. Now, on top of that, look, no one loses coverage under a Medicare-For-All system. But under Biden's plan, people do. So with a Medicare-For-All system, obviously it's universal. Biden's plan on his own website even states that it's not universal. Here you go. He'll also build on the Affordable Care Act with the plan to insure more than an estimated 97% of Americans, meaning that if 97% of Americans are insured, then 3% of people aren't covered. So what does that actually translate to? This from the People's Policy Project. Even if you suppose that Biden's estimate is right and the uninsurance rate does go down to 3%, that still implies an enormous amount of unnecessary death caused by a lack of insurance. One commonly used estimate states that one unnecessary death occurs annually for every 830 uninsured people. This means that during the first 10 years of Biden care, over 125,000 unnecessary deaths will occur from uninsurance. More generally, Biden's plan has the same problem as any other plan that does not create a national health insurance system. It causes enormous amounts of insurance churn and instability, further immiserating people when they face hardships like loss of job, loss of spouse, loss of Medicaid due to income increase, and every other negative life event. So, Biden's plan is just Obamacare 2.0. It's still a private insurance-based system. It's still a system where people go uninsured or underinsured. It's still a system that relies on a profit-making middleman. I mean, this is why Americans spend twice as much as any other country that has universal health care on their health care, because you have a profit-making system. You have a system where insurance companies make their money denying people coverage. I mean, this entire healthcare system, look, as a Canadian looking in from outside, the American healthcare system is completely insane to me. I've never thought about healthcare my entire life because it's always been there when I've needed it. I had surgery once. Never had to think about it. I just had to get the surgery and I came home and I was fine. No out-of-pocket expenses, nothing. I just have healthcare when I need it. So that's true peace of mind. Now, Biden also says in this video, quote, "Starting over makes no sense to me at all." But it's not starting over. Medicare exists. You're simply expanding it into a universal program. So this idea, like, you know what makes no sense to me? Continuing a healthcare plan that makes billions of dollars in profit for healthcare companies. That's what makes no sense to me. Continuing to make billions and billions of dollars for private insurers while people are going uninsured, going sick without coverage, are underinsured, not to mention all the other issues, out-of-pocket expenses, people going bankrupt. I mean, the entire system is completely rigged, insane, broken. It doesn't make any sense. Now, Bernie Sanders tweeted a response to this saying, "I fought to improve and pass Obamacare. I traveled all over the country to fight the repeal of Obamacare. But I will not be deterred from ending the corporate greed that creates dysfunction in our healthcare system. We must pass Medicare for all." And that's my view on this. There is no other option. Now ask yourself, in addition to why isn't Obama endorsing Joe Biden, why is Biden protecting private insurance companies? I mean, what's the benefit here? So there are people here that are actually on your side in the race. Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, people that want Medicare for all, they're actually on the side of Americans. They want to get rid of this rigged healthcare system. Now, private insurance will still exist if you want supplementary care, but there will be no duplicate private insurance under a Medicare for all system, meaning a private insurance company cannot offer you what Medicare for all already offers. Because by having a Medicare for all system, it means everyone is on the same plan. Costs go down across the board. It also means your congressperson is on the same plan as you are. So when it comes to the threat of maybe defunding the program, understand that it would negatively impact everybody else in the country, be it the wealthy, be it Congress people, whoever. So there is incentive there to ensure that Medicare for All is a strong healthcare system because everybody is on it. It just makes absolutely no sense that I have to keep having this debate. I have to keep discussing this. Again, maybe it's my worldview because I grew up in a country with universal healthcare, but your entire debate around healthcare right now is so completely dishonest. Whether it's cable news, whether it's candidates in the race like Joe Biden just outright lying about it, it's honestly disgusting. Because what this is doing, what this misinformation is doing, is hurting the poorest the most, hurting the people that are the sick the most. So you need to move to a universal healthcare system through Medicare for All. That's the only way to ensure that universally people are covered.